Good morning, everyone. This is Ida with Created to Create. I have a project share. As you all know, I have been working on these embellishment boxes, and I haven't filled them up yet, but I wanted to share with you some tags that I created to go along with these boxes. So the first tag that I made is to go along with this Stamperia. I don't know if it's Pink Christmas or Sweet Christmas. It's either one of those. Anyway, of course, I already shared the box with you, but now I want to share the tag that I created to go along with this box. The tag that I created to go along with that box is this one right here. Again, I used the same paper line, but I used one of those like journaling cards, and I stickled it all up with I used the diamond. There's actually a couple of them. The one I used is Stardust. This is the stickles that I used to bring in all the sparkle on the candle in just different areas, and then on the flicker and the pine cones I used the gold one. I had these little little notes that somebody sent in a embellishment box, and I have really been going through those embellishment boxes and picking out different things to use, and someone had these little music sheets of Joy to the World, and I absolutely love them, and she kind of distressed and made them look old, and I love that. And I just kind of curled it and glued it here and there because I didn't want it to be flat. I wanted it to have movement. And right here on the edge, though, I used the pink liquid pearls. They're called they're actually blush liquid pearls, but they're like pink to me. So I use that to dot right here on the sides of the tag. And the tag, I made it on the, this is pearlized paper. Hold on one second, guys. I'm recording. School started, guys, so there's noise early in the morning in my house. Anyway, I used the pearl paper to cut out my tag, and I'll share with you the tags that I used. And then I used a smaller tag. Let me share those with you before I get too ahead of myself. I used these tags by Alina Crafts. I think it's Alina Cuddles now. And I used what I used was this size tag, and then I used the smaller one of the two. And the other tag, the big tag, the main tag, I used this one by it is by Marian Designs, and this is the little tag set is kind of very similar to this tag, except the small ones have the stitching around them and these don't. And this is a pretty good size tag. There's my hand. I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of gray, but let me take it off. See how big this tag die is? So this is actually one of the things that I did splurge on buying because I really like the shape of this tag, and I wanted one that was bigger. That I had hosted a swap, and Miss Jamie Snurch had made a tag using this big tag die, and I fell in love with it. So I had to search high and low for it, and I was able to find it, and I absolutely love it. Now, as usual, I will post links to whatever I can find. If the link is not there, it's because I couldn't find it. So, and I don't even know if that tag's available anymore. I'm just kind of sharing with you what I used, and like I said, I'll link whatever I can. So the main tag, this main piece, I cut it out twice, once in the pearl and once in pink. The pink one I embossed with a Doris Holly embossing folder. Again, if I find that, I will share it. Or something, if it's not the exact same thing, I'll link something very similar to it. But of course, when you click on the link, you'll see if it's different or not. So I embossed the back one with the Hollies and Berries embossing folder. And then the front, I didn't emboss at all, just left it as is. And I added the little liquid pearl dots. And then I added dimension in between the layers. There's dimension in between the bottom tag and this little pink inner tag. And that one is from the Alina Cuttle, the smaller one, which is the largest tag in that set. And then, of course, this was just a square journaling card. I didn't want to make it into a tag. I left it as is and kind of just shabbied it up, distressed it with my Tim Holtz distressing tool. This little banner I had here, I think it was some kind of place mat. I don't know. I don't even know where these came from, to be quite honest. I don't know if somebody gifted them to me or what. But I had them in my die-cut notebook. And when I saw them, I thought that would be the perfect thing. Oh, I forgot to grab one thing really quick. One thing really quick. But I have it right here. I have it right here to share with you guys. The other thing, the banner, as you can see, it says December 25th. What I use for that is this punch board. It's the Word Punch Board by We Are Memory Keepers. I picked up mine on Tuesday morning, and I just happened to find it. But from what I hear, it's not available anymore. But I know Amazon has it, so I will link it. I have to tell you guys, I really love this punch, Word Punch. And I did use it on both of my tags, and I'll share with you where I used it. But this is definitely one thing that I would recommend you pick up, because you can do so much with this. And actually, if I'm able to find another one, I will find another one just so I can have double the alphabets. To be quite honest, that's what I've been thinking about. If I happen to come across it again, I will buy it again. So anyway, it says December 25th, and I backed that up with the same pink paper that I did the tag with. And I did use my pink little dewdrop ink pad to kind of bring in some pink shades into it. And right here, the little scene right here had some berries, so I did those with the liquid pearl as well. But you could add bling if you wanted to. Maybe bling might be better, because I can see one of them's a little dented, and I didn't touch it or anything. It just in the drying process, it did that. But it still looks pretty. This is a little piece of trim. I believe my friend Carolyn had gifted me this trim. I'm not for sure if I bought it or if she gifted it. But this one back here, she gifted it to me. The pleated pale pink one back here. So I got 2 strips of lace right here. And then I added some. This little flower was already on this music paper. This little word came off of the paper, that Stamperia. And then this little flower was gifted to me by Miss Emma Mangiafico in that box of flowers that she gifted me. And then this right here, ribbon, this eyelet trim, was gifted to me by Carolyn, who is Tea Time and Dolls here on YouTube. And then this little pink seam binding was in the bag. You guys, I tell you every time I host a swap, or whether I'm hosting or I'm swapping one-to-one, and there's little bits and pieces of ribbon tied to packages, I save all of that stuff. And so that's where I got this seam binding and the gold twine right here. And then I added just a variety of ribbons here. The seam binding, the very narrow twine, and then the gold metallic twine. And here's another little flower from Miss Emma. And these little bells came from AliExpress. And I'm going to share with you what they look like. They were a little pricey, but not bad. Not bad. Usually I'll spend this at... These were $10, guys, this whole bag. I think it's 100 of them. And they come like in a 2-tone pink. You have a very light pink, and then one that's a little bit darker. But you get 100 of them, and they're real small. They're tiny. And I love these. I think they're beautiful. So I was able to get them. You hear that? I was able to get them in the pink, but there's my pinky, and there is the bell. That's how they're super tiny. So I really like these, and they are like metal because they do have weight to them. But I absolutely love them. So this is the one that I made to go with this box because it's the same paper line, and I think they look pretty good. And the reason I used this color of paper instead of the pink is because I wanted to use a pearl paper, and I didn't have any pink pearlized paper, so I went with this because on the edge of the tag, that's the color that's on this journaling card. So I thought, that'll work. So I used that one. the other one that I created one for this other box, which is the Christmas in the Country by Prima paper. And again, I used this card right here. I cut it out of the journaling card, and I actually had to trim it down some because it was bigger, because they're 4x6. So I had to trim it down some, but I was able to pick and choose where I wanted. Right here on the side where it says Believe, that's where I used that word punch by We Are Memory Keepers. I absolutely love that. So instead of punching it on a little strip, I actually punched it right on the journaling card, and then I backed it with some burgundy or wine color cranberry, like a deep cranberry paper, because if you notice Santa, he's got the deep burgundies in him and the red. So that's what I did on this side. And then I just added, these little berries were gifted by, I believe it was Migdalia Rodriguez in the embellishment box swap. I believe that's who that was. And then here's a little poinsettia. Here again are some little gold bells that I added to this little pink Christmas light. And the reason I added the pink Christmas light is because even though it's more of a country and traditional colors, this paper, it does have pinks in it. So I wanted to incorporate some pinks in it to show you that it still looks good. I mean, you can make it shabby, or you can make it rustic or country. And then I added some like little trim that I had, some little die cuts, little candy canes, and just berries, styrofoam glittered berries. And then my friend Sal, had gifted me some of these square buckles. And I was looking for a smaller one, hoping that I had a square one because Santa's buckle is square. But I couldn't find a smaller one, so I had to go with this bigger one. And then I used the what do you call it? That glaze that we use, that little bottle. Glossy Accents. Glossy Accents actually makes a black glossy accents. So I just dotted all the little dips in the buckle with the black glossy accents. And then I made the bow out of this vinyl that we pick up at Hobby Lobby. That's why I bought this vinyl, because this paper does have plaid in it. So that's what I cut the bow out of, and this is that bride's bow. And I'll share with you the die that I used for that. I actually bought the steel rule die from, I don't know who it was from. It's from AliExpress. I don't know if it was Alina Cuddle or who it was from, but I did buy the wooden one, the steel rule die. That way I could cut through any material. The one thing I will tell you to do though, see these lines on the back? These will transfer onto your good plate if you don't put something underneath it. I will share with you what I use. And you can see it. I usually just get a piece of paper, and I think you can see the lines. But see all these lines that are here? If it wasn't that I had put this underneath this, all these lines would be transferred onto my good cutting mat. And I try to protect my mats as much as, my cutting plates as much as possible. So when I put that down, then it didn't cause any damage to my plate, my no-cut plate. But this is the one that I used. I don't know if that's still available. And anyway, and I did add dimension in between the cranberry color and the journaling card. So there's plenty of dimension on this card tag. And then I used some twine from that bag that I tell you that I collect all the ribbon from. Most of this was from either the Christmas embellishment box or the Not So Secret Santa swap. So that's where that came from. And then in the back, I made a little tag, the to and from tag. I haven't done it on the other one, but I did make a to and from tag here. And my little die, this one with the curved bottom tag die, it did cut through the vinyl. I had to kind of help it along to kind of cut completely through, but it wasn't too bad. So I was able to cut it. Who says we can't use vinyl to back our tags? So I did the buffalo plaid to match the paper. And then on the other side, I did the pearlized paper with the to and from, and I attached it with a garment pen. And then here is the back of the tag, and I did have it in the cranberry color, but the two reds were clashing, so I had to add another tag with the red. And as you can see, this has a plaid embossing folder going on. That was gifted to me by my friend Nisha in the Not So Secrets Santa Swap, I believe, or the Embellish. I'm not sure which one, because Nisha did Angel for me quite a bit this past year. So anyway, she had gifted me this set by Recollections that was as a hostess gift, and these were the $5 ones, and she was able to find one with plaid. So this worked perfectly with the Santa Baby paper, where when you don't want the contrasting color, but you still want the pattern. And I actually used it reversed. So this is actually supposed to be the back of the tag or the embossing folder, and that's how I wanted it. I wanted the raised areas to be up instead of the recessed ones. So I used it. I just kind of, after I embossed it, I flipped it to the wrong side and I added it there. Because, you know, my paper doesn't matter because there's not an image or anything or words that you can reverse. So it was fine. And I really like the way this came out. Again, I made it to match this one right here. And I think it matches pretty well with what I have going on. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoy the tags that I created and that it inspires you and gives you ideas that we can back our tags with something other than just paper. You know, if you have any type of die, especially if it's not, I wouldn't recommend using an intricate die. But this one is kind of just simple, a straight line. It was fine. It cut fine through. And like I said, I did have to help it along a little bit. But I only went back and forth on my machine. I imagine if I would have done it a couple more times, it would have cut all the way through. But I didn't. I just ran it through and ran it back and took it out. Not too much of a fuss because it's, you know, it's a pretty simple design. So anyway, these are the two tags that I created, and I hope that I am in frame. These are the two tags that I created, and I hope that you like what I created, like I said, and that it inspires you to pull out your tag dies and kind of start creating for Christmas, if nothing else, because, you know, we'll go to a store and we'll find pretty tags, yeah, but usually they're flat. They're not dimensional like what we make, and this would actually make a big statement. If somebody put one of these tags on one of my gifts, I wouldn't want to throw it away. But that's just me. Anyway, and even if they do throw it away, you know, for me, this is more of a personal satisfaction. My daughters are ones to say, Mom, it doesn't matter. They're just going to throw it away, you know, and I always tell them it's not even that. It's more about personal satisfaction. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day and God bless. Bye.